Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Study Launchpad session. My name is Leen, and I'm the Communications Officer at the International Training Center. And I hope you all enjoyed one or two program webinars and may have some idea about your preferences by now. But of course, and studying a program at our faculty, there are some other things to consider, like submitting an application and funding of your program. So I'm very pleased to give the floor to Sylvie Bowens, who has been the applications coordinator at our faculty for a long time now. Welcome, Sylvie.
Thank you, Leen. Hello, good evening or good morning, everybody. So as Leen introduced me, I'm Sylvie Bowens. I handle applications at our faculty. So in this session, I will explain how to apply for one of our master programs and also some words about scholarships and funding. Applying for a master program. So you may have joined one or several sessions earlier, and you may have an idea already of the program you are interested in. So if you consider applying for one of our programs, it's important that you first check the academic requirements. So in order to be eligible for one of the programs, you must check whether you meet the program requirements. The program requirements are listed on our website, itc.ugent.be. For each file of international students, we assess the file separately. So no direct admission is possible. So it means that with a certain program, you may think, well, I'm admissible for this program, this master at UGent, but we do check every file individually. So we look basically at your background knowledge in specific courses that may be, and also we look at your language. So you need to be proficient in English because all the masters are taught in English. If you have a doubt about whether or not you meet the admission requirements, you can always contact us at our generic email address, applications.itc@ugent.be. I'm behind that email address together with a few colleagues, so we attend your question as soon as possible. It's important to mention also that applying is already possible when you are in your last bachelor year. So you must not yet have obtained your bachelor degree at the moment of applying, but it is important that you obtain your degree when you enroll for the program. So, but it shouldn't stop you from starting the application already. Just a word about the Master of Science in Food Technology. The applications of this program are managed by our partner university, KU Leuven. So if you joined the session of food technology earlier, my colleague will have explained how to apply. Apart from the academic requirements, you must also check whether you meet the language requirements. Also, the language requirements may differ per program. Generally speaking, we accept the following language certificates. So for a TOEFL, we accept paper-based tests and internet-based tests. The score you must obtain ranges, mainly for the internet-based test, can range between 86 and 90. Paper-based tests are 570, but we do not see them that often anymore. So most students apply with an internet-based test. For IELTS, we accept a 6.5 score, and new as of this year is that you must have obtained a minimum of 6 on all sub-scores. So writing, speaking, listening should all be 6.0. Also important to mention is that we accept for TOEFL the home edition and for IELTS also the online test. So if you cannot make it to a test center, you can do the test from home if that is offered by your country, of course, by the IELTS office in your country. Some programs also apply a waiver for English. So in that case, you will not have to submit an English language certificate, but you need to submit a medium of instruction certificate. This is the case for the programs listed here on this slide. I will not read them aloud. You can read it. If you apply, if you comply with the following conditions, that you are a national of one of the 27 countries for which we apply a waiver, you can look up these countries on our website. So on the program website of the program of your choice, you will find whether your country is on the waiver list. If all these conditions are met, you can apply for a waiver. So you can apply for with a statement of a medium of instruction of your home university. It must state that you have had at least 60 ECTS credits of English language instruction, or the equivalent, of course, in your local credit system, which may differ from ECTS. So when you start applying, so you have met the conditions of academic requirements, also the language requirement, you can start up your application. The application is fairly easy. So we do not ask for a lot of documents. We want to make it as easy as possible for the applicants. The documents we do require are, of course, your academic credentials, so your bachelor or master degree with which you apply, and also the transcript of records that belong to that bachelor or master degree. If you are in your last bachelor year, you can also use a graduation statement. In that case, your home university has to state that you are in your last bachelor, that you will obtain this degree with the name of the degree, and also the expected graduation date should be mentioned. We also require a motivation letter for all programs, also for the non-scholarship programs, although for the scholarship programs, the content may be a bit more specific. So, for example, for the Master of Science in Nutrition and Food Systems, you will have to answer a couple of questions. They have to be reflected in your motivation letter. So just check carefully what is expected in your motivation letter. So after all these documents are uploaded, we will do an academic screening of your file. We will check whether you are academically admissible. If that is the case, so if you are academically admissible, we will do an extra, so our central admission office will do an extra qualification check of your academic credentials. And only after that, after this check, your file is considered complete and you will receive your letter of admission. This qualification check is also new as of this year. So if you have any questions about this, you can contact our admission office, International Admission Desk, at the email address which is listed, but also in the exhibit hall here. So during this webinar and during the last plenary session, after this session, my colleagues will give more explanation about the qualification check. Also good to know is that we do not apply an application fee. Also a GRE or GMAT are not required at our university or our faculty. For applications, there is no age limit, except for ICP Connect scholarships. The age limit to apply for a master program is 35 years of age. So as I explained earlier, a letter of admission is issued after your file is complete and your academic credentials have been checked. If you're interested in applying, we invite you to go to the program website, and there you can click further until you are on OASIS, which is our application tool. Then the deadlines and application period. So applications are open already. We started on the 1st of October. The deadlines are 28th of February for all scholarship-seeking students. So that's ICP Connect scholarships and Erasmus Mundus scholarships. If you are a EEA student, but you are not applying for a scholarship, so you will join the program with personal funding. You have time to apply until the end of March. If you are an European student, EEA student, not applying for a scholarship, your deadline will be 31st of May. The results for the scholarship selection, if you applied for one, is April for Erasmus Mundus and May for the ICP Connect scholarships. And then the start of the academic year, we only have one intake, only fall, in fall, so always on September of the year concerned, the academic year starts. Some additional tips and tricks when applying. So for certain programs, we require basic knowledge of, for example, chemistry or mathematics or statistics. We will always state the number in ECTS. For example, for International Master of Science in Environmental Science and Technology, we require 20 ECTS of mathematics and physics. So we advise you to do the conversion between your local credit system and ECTS before applying, so that you know that you meet the number of ECTS. We will do the additional check. So if you doubt, either send us an email or do apply, and then we will check whether you meet the required ECTS. The motivation letter I already mentioned. So for scholarship applying students, this is a very important document. So you should really convince the committee why you deserve this scholarship. So pay particular attention to the contents, and mainly if certain questions are asked that have to be answered, make sure you do so. Start in time with the application. So we opened already, and that's for a reason. So once you have achieved your letter of admission, you will have to apply for a student visa to come and study in Belgium. And this can be a very time-consuming thing. So we noticed mainly for the countries listed here, last year, students sometimes had to wait 3 to 4 months before their visa was issued. So we advise you to start in time. Then scholarship competition. Yeah, so we only have a limited number of scholarships. So if you really want to join a certain program, of course, you can compete for the scholarship, but we do advise you to simultaneously look for alternative funding because, yeah, so yeah, mostly the success rate is 1 in 10 or 1 in 20. So keep that in mind when applying for a program. So again, if you have questions, you can always reach us at the application's email address. Then some words about funding. So as I mentioned, we have some scholarship programs with funding. So we have Erasmus Mundus and ICP Connect programs. I will first start with the ICP Connect. So the Master of Science in Aquaculture, Nutrition and Food Systems, Rural Development and Food Technology come with ICP Connect scholarships. These are scholarships provided by Vlier UOS, which is basically the Belgian Development Cooperation Office for education. So they provide scholarship to a limited list of countries in the Global South. Generally speaking, there are 10 to 12 scholarships per program per year. In the list of countries listed here, it's the Master of Science in Nutrition and Food System that has 12 scholarships. All the other programs have 10 scholarships for the next intake. So as I mentioned, to be eligible for a scholarship, your country must be on the Vlier UOS country list. You can see the countries here on this map, but you can also visit the Vlier UOS website. They have a very clear description of the scholarship criteria, including the country you must be a resident from. The scholarship, ICP Connect scholarship, is a comprehensive scholarship. You will get a monthly allowance of 1,400 euros, which is more than enough to cover all your study costs and living costs and also accommodation. You will also receive a return ticket, so a plane ticket to come to Belgium, and then at the end of your study to return back home. And you will be paying the reduced tuition fee. So all VLIR or ICP Connect students will pay next year, that will be 1,181 euros. You will have to pay that amount from your scholarship. So you'll have to save some money in the first months to be able to pay your tuition fee. Then Erasmus Mundus scholarships. For the next intake, we can offer Erasmus Mundus scholarships for IMSOGLO, so the Master of Science in Soils and Global Change. All nationalities can apply, so there is no country list or limit as to the country you come from. Also European and even Belgian students can apply. It's also a comprehensive scholarship. So in total, over the 2 years, you will receive 33,600 euros, which also comes down to 1,400 per month. This includes, again, all living costs, housing, travel expenses, etc. In this case, you will not receive a return ticket home, so you will have to pay that from the scholarship. You will not have to pay a tuition fee, so the tuition fee is included in the scholarship. And also you will receive an all-in insurance. Then if you are not a scholarship student and you consider studying in Belgium, these are the study costs you have to take into account. So basically speaking, you must foresee around 1,000 euros per month for living expenses. So this includes housing, general living expenses such as food and sports and subscription to public transport, etc. And then for health insurance, depending on whether it's included in your scholarship or not, this will be around 10 euros per month. The tuition fees vary. So depending on the program you are in, especially for the Erasmus Mundus programs, the amount of the tuition fee is different. So please check out the website to make sure that you find the correct tuition fee. For the non-Erasmus Mundus programs, there is a reduced tuition fee for students who come from a country, a low-income country on the OECD list of countries. But all this can be consulted on our website. So please have a look if you want to know more about the tuition fee that applies to your program. Okay, so this was the end of my presentation. I will give back the floor to Lynn.
Thank you, Sylvie. Speaking about funding, I'm very pleased to introduce our next guest, Maina, who started the Master of Science in Rural Development in September of this year. Maina is from Japan, and during her application period, we came to learn that she was on a quite impressive journey in search for a scholarship to fund her program. Welcome, Maina. We'd love to hear your story.
Hi everyone, my name is Maina. I'm from Japan and I'm studying at the master's degree in rural development, so-called IMRD. And I started my first semester this September here at the campus Kuopio. And I had always dreamed of studying in Europe, but I was well aware that without funding, I would never be able to realize the dream. So I kind of set out to find it. So I started my search for funding in around May 2024 or May to September 2024, over a year before the actual start of the program. And I applied to 6 organizations in total. So five of them were in Japan because I was lucky that there were quite a few providers in Japan itself, and also that the Japanese government provides a lot of information about them. And I also applied to one international organization, which is called Rotary. So I did most of the application work between September and November, like December. Yeah. And I would advise everyone to do the same. Yeah. So I would like to suggest start early as soon as possible. Some organizations require an interview in addition to paperwork, for example, and it all takes time. Yeah. And in January, for example, I had a number of face-to-face interviews and also online interviews, yeah, as part of the procedure. So in February, I received a provisional offer from Rotary International Foundation, which was good news. What you need to know about Rotary, like many scholarship providers, it has its own mission and its own rules that differ a bit for each district of the organization. So that brings me to my second tip. So find out in advance about the requirements of a scholarship provider before you invest a lot of time in it. Some providers want you to attend a university in a specific country, such as the USA or somewhere else. Others want you to give something back. Like, it's good to be well informed in advance in order to make your research a lot easier. And one of the Rotary rules, for example, is that you cannot combine it with another scholarship. So that's why I ultimately turned it down. And 3 of my 6 applications resulted in an actual offer, and I chose the highest scholarship, which will cover most of my studies. So one last tip, I would say, if you can find people who have already received a particular scholarship, please get in touch with them, such as LinkedIn, Facebook, or something like that you found a connection from friends or something. They can give you valuable advice if you want them, if you tell them you want help. So to conclude, my search had a happy ending and it was really worth it. So I hope the same for you all. I wish everyone the best of luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maina. Thank you so much. I hope your story, your journey can be an inspiration for many students who are present today. We also have some extra tips in store for them. Let's have a look. So you might know some of those typical search engines like scholarships.com, European Funding Guide. But at least as important are possible options in your own country. So here I listed, for instance, 5 types of scholarships that we generally receive students from, let's say, each year. So first of all, there's Indonesia, where we have LPDP. There is a cooperation agreement between Ghent University and LPDP, and this enables Indonesian students to complete a master program at our faculty. This is part of the Indonesian Ministry of Finance, this scholarship fund. Colfuturo, we also receive many students on this fund. It's, let's say, a combination of a scholarship and a student loan. From the Philippines, we have the DOS scholarships. It refers to the Department of Science and Technology. It's also a governmental scholarship program. From Kazakhstan, for instance, we have Bolashak International Scholarship, which is a scholarship program by the Kazakh state. And from Ghana, for instance, we get the Ghana Education Trust Fund, and that's also a fund from the Ghanese government. In addition to the 5 countries listed on the slide before, already mentioned, these are all countries from which we welcome students with a scholarship other than Erasmus Mundus or ICP Connect over the past few years. So we can confidently state there that there are some possibilities outside of the scholarships that we do offer ourselves. It's not something we are researching in our team or that we know many details of, but please do not hesitate to ask if we know of any possibilities for your country. Here you can find the applications.itc address once more, so all your questions regarding funding are welcome too. Okay, let's move on to our last topic of this session. Suppose you applied, you found funding, you got a letter of admission, you are ready to enroll. What to expect next? You find out in the next movie about what we call our takeoff program.
Hello, my name is Win. I'm the head of the International Training Center. And every academic year, my team runs the Takeoff program for new international students. We fully understand that it is not easy to leave your home to study in another country. That's why we want our students to step into a welcoming and supportive environment.
Before the students leave to Belgium, we inform them about some administrative issues they have to take care of, such as applying for a visa, how to apply for a room in Ghent, some tips and tricks about their travel to Belgium. Once the students have arrived in Belgium, we organize group sessions. We call them the check-in sessions. We inform students about all administrative issues that they are mostly not eager to find out for themselves, such as applying for a residence permit, everything about national health insurance, the bank account, etc.
In the Takeoff program, we also have a final part which we call onboarding. In this part, students will get acquainted with their new surroundings like the faculty campus, all the services, the city of Ghent and so on.
The monitoring service is here to help you when things don't really go as planned with your studies. We are here if you have questions about your studying methods, or if you have a hard time concentrating, or you just want to have a chat. You can always make an appointment with us.
Hi, I'm Helena from ES and this is Seppa from ES. This morning we welcomed the international students at our faculty here in Ghent. We also showed them the campus. For me that's always nice because I have been here for 5 years, so I know my favorite spots and I can share them with the international students. Some little secrets like
I just did a session, and what particularly was interesting is that I talked about perfectionism and fear of failure, procrastination, all these kind of things, and they all recognize that it's universal.
You can also use, of course, the bus or the tram in Ghent.
Basically, they all mean the same. Welcome to Belgium, we have too many signs.
The culture shock one was actually quite interesting. Being able to learn all the little ways to greet people here and what's acceptable and what's less acceptable and how you communicate. Also, the language centre seems super interesting. I'm yet to start the classes yet.
Many students will also choose to learn a complete new language at our language centre. This may be for fun, but mainly this will be to prepare for an exchange program or to invest in their future career here in Belgium or somewhere else in Europe.
There are also a lot of fun activities that we organize, like a quiz and a city game where they get to know the city of Ghent up close. And we also have a teaser of Dutch session, which also has a fun ending with a sing-along of a famous Ghent song.
Perfect, thank you so much.
So I'd like to introduce our next guest, Eliška Pierce. Eliška is from the United States, and she started her Master of Science in Soils and Global Change program a few months ago. So the Takeoff program is still fresh in her mind, I suppose. Eliška, welcome.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. And yes, it is very fresh in my mind.
Okay. Well, if you look back on, the leaving home and arriving in Ghent process, what did the Takeoff program mean to you?
I think it was really amazing, super informative. My partner, he also started a master's program in Europe, and he received much less information than I did, and I felt really supported and welcomed, and I really enjoyed the onboarding program specifically, and found everyone to be really just supportive and kind, and immediately I felt like I was ready to start here in Ghent.
Okay. And, you know, in the video, our Australian student chose for the culture shock session. What was your favorite part?
I think for one, I really enjoyed singing all together. I thought that was very different, and it showed immediately how fun the Belgian people are, or at least the ITC people. Um, I I also really enjoyed the city game. I thought that was a great way to be with new people and see the city.
Was there anything that you were surprised by? I mean, you come from the United States, you come into another culture, other continent, something that you really got surprised by?
I guess I wasn't expecting to have a session with a police officer. That was unexpected, especially talking about bike rules. That's not something we really have in the US, so that was different. And not necessarily unexpected, but really nice was the Dutch teaser course. I think it was great to feel like I'm a little more prepared to be here with that.
Suppose you're a student advisor to the International Training Center. We are a university. We always want to learn. What would your advice be? What would have made you feel even more welcome?
I think, honestly, on the front of welcoming, you guys do a fantastic job. Every single one of you is really amazing. And I think that, as an advisor, I would say there's not a lot you could change, but I don't know, maybe a little more time for us to hang out as new students, because I know a lot of us met and thought, oh wow, you're so cool, and I want to spend more time getting to know these people. So maybe a little extra time in the garden, in the courtyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly,
So,
it's really well done.
Duly noted. We can add some time to the fun activity part. You have been here for 2 months now. How have you settled in?
Very well. Very well. I finally feel like I'm understanding everything in class. And I really enjoy the time with my new classmates. And even just being here 2 months, I feel like I'm making a huge amount of memories, and I really love the city, and it's very lively. So I think it's going very well, and yeah, I'm just very happy to be here.
Okay, that's nice to hear. Many students are watching today. Maybe they're considering to choose for one of our programs, come to Belgium, come to Ghent. What would be your piece of advice to them?
I would say do it. Like, if you have a feeling that this might be right for you, it absolutely can be. The city is perfect for students. The university is challenging, and it will make you grow and learn. And the people here are really fantastic. So my advice would be, I guess dream big and go for the opportunity, because you will come out the other end really, really changed. So.
Okay, thank you for those really nice words. I would like to encourage our audience now to post some questions in the Q&A if you have some left. For now, we already have a question about the funding opportunities for international students from Congo Democratic Republic who want to study a specific master program. Maybe you can answer that, Sylvie. The student refers specifically to pharmaceutical engineering. You're still on mute. There's something wrong with the sound. I'll take the question for now.
Can you hear me
Let's
now?
see. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
There you
okay.
are.
Sorry. So for pharmaceutical engineering, unfortunately, there are no scholarships offered by the program. But as mentioned before, yeah, there are other ways to look for funding. Maybe try international organizations or like Maina said, like service clubs like Rotary, etc. But unfortunately, by the program itself, it's not an Erasmus Mundus program nor an ICP Connect program. So we do not offer scholarships for that master program.
I see the student says, like the master program of pharmaceutical engineering. I suppose there are other options too. Maybe there the ICP Connect can come in handy.
Yeah, so just have a look on the ITC website and check out the different master programs. It's always mentioned whether there are scholarships available for the program or not. So.
Anybody else who maybe has a question for Maina or Eliška? Not right now. We have a few minutes left, so I'll take the opportunity to ask another question. Maina, how have you settled in? You've been here also for a couple of months now. How have you been?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So far, I've been spending a very amazing 2 months with my classmates. So my program, IMRD program, is quite relatively small program, I would say. So including me, there's only 18 students this year. And so I had one opportunity to go to somewhere in Belgium. I forgot the name, Mechelen. Yeah. And we had a booth camp, so-called, and we had a kind of intensive class for 4 days over there, and discussing this like agricultural social issues with the classmates and so on. And then I think it really made us like connecting with like strong bond to each other. And then after that, I'm just really enjoying the program with my lovely classmates. Yeah.
Okay, nice to hear. In a previous session, we saw a figure, a graph, showing that 1 out of 3, more than 1 out of 3 of the students at our faculty are international students. So that means masters and PhD combined. Is that your experience as well? Do you have the feeling that we are in a really internationally oriented faculty?
Yeah, I would say so. At least my program, there's like, as I say, like there's students from Asia, Latin America, and also United States, and also like African, so like and Europe too. So like everyone, from every continent, people gather to our
The
program.
whole world
So
in a
yeah,
classroom.
yeah. So. Yeah, which makes me realize the world can be so small in this one classroom. Yeah. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm so happy to be friends with my classmates. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I see on the clock that this session has come to an end. Many thanks to all speakers, Sylvie, Maina, Eliška, and I'd now like to invite the audience to the final session of today, hosted by the University Services of Ghent University. See you in a bit.